Hi and welcome to Heal My Hemorrhoids. In this video you will learn what happens if you push too hard while pooping, so watch the whole video to the end to get all of the tips you need. Also, check out the site Heal My Hemorrhoids, there's a link in the description. Remember to hit the subscribe and like button if you like this video. Also check out the links for help in the description. It's pretty obvious that everyone has experienced constipation in their life one way or the other, and that's a completely normal phenomenon. Either you've drunk too little water or have had a poor diet for some days and you'll find yourself straining to poop properly on the toilet. In the description, there is a link that helps with constipation, check that out. Pushing too hard when going to the toilet for a longer time will in general lead to prolapsed hemorrhoids or rectal prolapse. When trying too hard it will eventually make your rectum come out from your behind. Your anus is encircled by sensitive skin tissue, and pushing too hard can lead to anal fissures, and it's another painful experience compared to hemorrhoids. Now, even if happens occasionally, it's not something to be too much worried about since it's natural and goes away if you get back to a proper diet regimen. But if you find yourself pushing too hard while pooping on a regular basis, then it is time for you to pay attention to it a bit more. Because if you keep doing this for a long time, it's certain that you'll find yourself in several health complications, and that's not something you'd want your health to lead to. In this video, we'll be discussing the potential health complications that you might get by straining to poop, along with tips to taking care of it in simple ways and when to ask for a physician to deal with it. The common thing about straining while pooping is something very common and essential for a person. I mean, it goes without saying that everyone poops no matter where you're from, and that comes with the need to strain while pooping. But we're not talking about the normal straining issues while pooping, because it's not something too serious you need to worry about. The problem lies somewhere else, where you're pretty much pushing your life out by pushing too hard, because that's going to lead to something serious. It can do some critical damage to your butt, and that's never a good thing. Straining while pooping can lead to a lot of different bad outcomes, but none of them are particularly life-threatening. But that doesn't mean that you will have to keep tolerating it and not doing anything about it. You'll certainly need to change some lifestyle changes, and hopefully, you can finally go to the toilet in peace. For more advice and help for hemorrhoids and constipation, go to healmyhemorrhoids.com. There are several changes you can make in your lifestyle if you've been experiencing constipation and your poop is getting too hard to come out naturally. As it feels somewhat impossible to poop and you're left with a hard little lump around your anus, it's pretty easy to tell that you already have constipation. Click the link in the description for help with constipation. Most of the time, they are caused by bad eating habits with not a very good dietary plan. Even the specialists talk about how most of their constipation patients are mostly facing these kinds of problems because they have very little fiber in their eating habits, and it's clearly a sign why that needs to be changed. Not everyone is eating fruits, whole grains, and vegetables, since they can certainly help you with the normal level of constipation. If your age is between 18 to 30, you'll at least need to consume 30 grams of fiber every day to avoid any complications relating to straining while pooping. If you're older than that, then the amount of fiber intake will go down. Having insoluble fibers is better for pooping, and you'll need to keep that in mind. You can eat wheat, cauliflower, potatoes, and nuts regularly to prevent having constipation, since they're the most popular and easy to get that have insoluble fibers. We've already said above that pushing too hard while pooping for the long term can cause a number of health issues. That includes having hemorrhoids, and it's not a pleasant thing. Hemorrhoids aren't deadly, but it sure is annoying to have. To get rid of hemorrhoids, click the link in the description for help. They're piles of bulging blood veins inside your internal or even external skin around your rectum or anus, and it varies from patient to patient. When you keep pushing yourself while pooping, that push causes a lot of pressure to come down your anus, and it can cause swollen anal veins. And when they're even a bit visible, it can cause bleeding. Along with hemorrhoids, anal fissures are another reason why you need to worry about pushing too hard all the time in the toilet. Even the issue of having hemorrhoids is very common among a lot of people. Most people don't feel very comfortable talking about hemorrhoids. That's the reason it gets untreated for a lot of people at the point when it gets serious enough. Although there are other reasons you can have hemorrhoids, having hemorrhoids because of constipation is the most common thing among them. A lot of people don't even notice that they have hemorrhoids unless they notice their first bleeding session. Most of the time, Hemorrhoid bleeding sessions are not even painful, but they sure are irritating and cause literal irritation around your anus. It causes discomfort, swelling, and of course bleeding. The oversimplifying answer is yes, you can bleed if you push too hard while pooping. Because we've already established the reasons behind the bleeding, and even if they're not deadly, you would need to take care of the problem before it gets any more serious. Can you die from pushing too hard when pooping? This is some sort of a legendary thing. Pushing too hard can cause a lot of problems. If you push too hard while pooping, it doesn't only lead to hemorrhoids or anal fissures because they're not deadly at all. But pushing hard can cause other problems, and we'll talk about it here. See the link in the description for help for hemorrhoids. There are stories about it in the past, but they don't exactly come with a lot of evidence. A lot of stories include having strokes and ruptured aneurysms from pushing too hard in the toilet. But it's not something we should be concerned about, because pushing that hard for people to lead to fatal problems like that is not common at all. The most extreme outcome of stressing to crap is winding up with a rectal prolapse, which implies precisely what it says, and we wouldn't want to deal with that. The coating of your rectum prolapses when you keep pushing it hard while pooping. This is stuff bad dreams are made of, and we need to keep away from cases like this at any cost. But even if it's the worst that can happen, it's still not fatal, and it won't kill you unless you have other health complications mixed with this kind of nightmare. It's not that it doesn't happen, it's just exceptionally uncommon among patients to push that hard and cause a stroke or similar problems. Unless you're having other severe health problems along with constipation, you won't have to worry about it. There are very rare cases of people passing away for this kind of scenario, and it's called defecation syncope. It's possible for anyone to have defecation syncope, but it's something very rare thing to have, and we shouldn't worry about it that much. Pushing too hard to poop and headache. There indeed is indirect links between constipation and headache, but they surely are because of some other diseases. The reasons include having celiac disease, chronic fatigue syndrome, and many more. Dealing with yourself is the most ideal approach to prevent and stop any medical issue, and that obviously includes dealing with constipation. This implies eating a better eating regimen, having proper rest and exercising daily, and figuring out how to oversee any kind of stress to prevent having anxiety and etc. It's imperative to recognize what's causing your headaches and clogging so you can work with your doctor so that you can deal with it even more effectively. Whenever you're suspicious about any hidden issues, your headaches can increase and you'll need a doctor's help deal with them. Since we've gone over all the possible reasons why you might be stressing while trying to poop, this is what you truly need to know. It's what happens to your butt when you're doing all that pushing, because obviously, you're not giving birth here. When you are dealing with such a problem, you shouldn't push like a pregnant woman to attempt to pass your poop, because it'll pretty much tear up your butt. The pushing is no help here unless you deliberately want to tear up your butt, and that's not something you'd want to do. For more advice, just head over to healmyhemorrhoids.com. There are more than 100 articles for you to look for. Stressing to poop is one of the actual reasons for hemorrhoids, which are basically blood veins in your butt. At the point when you push ahead hard to attempt to make a bowel movement, or at least try to, all that pressing factor goes to your anus, and the blood veins and the tissue around it will pretty much burst in with all that stress. Unnecessary and excessive stressing doesn't always lead to hemorrhoids, yet you're not out of the unmistakable altogether. Your anus is encircled by sensitive skin tissue, and pushing too hard can lead to anal fissures, and it's another painful experience compared to hemorrhoids. Anal fissures make crapping much more painful, and so much more than you might think. Consider it like little paper cuts on your anus, and it surely will be painful without a doubt. Having hemorrhoids or fissures can cause bleeding, and it'll be hard not to notice that. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos. I hope the video was helpful for you. Check out the links in the description for help for constipation and hemorrhoids. For more articles and videos, go to healmyhemorrhoids.com or this YouTube channel.